All right, my friends. Without any further ado, I'm going to pass it off to the amazing Pinball Wiz 45B for Pac-Man Championship Edition 2. Take it away.
All right,
Good morning, everyone. We're going to do roll call. I'm Pinball Wiz 45B.
I'm Joester98.
I'm Abi.
And this is Pac-Man Championship Edition 2. We're going to be playing 80% through adventure mode. And we're going to be coming quite a bit through the world map. We're going to be starting on 1-7. Keep in mind, we're going to be playing this on pro difficulty on every game setting. You'll notice right away whenever I start, I guess we're going to start the countdown right now.
Right.
On 3, 2, 1, go. Woo!
Woot woot.
This is not like any Pac-Man game you've ever seen. Right away, you get
Championship Edition 1. It's kind of like that.
Yeah, so he doesn't have, each stage in this game has a separate goal, and you can see it in the bottom left corner. So he has to get 5 fruits to beat this stage, and each of these individual maps will have a fruit at the end of it. And you notice that he doesn't actually have to collect all of the dots on any single map to get the fruit. He just has to collect a certain amount. And then what he's using is he's using a bomb power-up, which will immediately teleport him back to the start of the level. And that's useful in most situations because you'll eat the final dot really far away from the start. And so now these are the ghost trains. So when he runs past the green ghosts, they add on to the 4 main ghosts and form these long chains. And to eat them, you have to eat the first ghost in the chain to get them to disappear. So that was the first stage. It took like 40 seconds or something in game time.
I've actually routed out this map a few days beforehand, so expect a little bit of weirdness when it comes to routing out maps.
Yeah, the thing with this game is that it very clearly has a route that it wants you to do, but for speedruns, it's often optimal to go off that route and just try to get the fastest succession of dots and end up back at the center, or bomb jump if you're just too far away from it when you're done.
Yeah, so in the last stage, there were like stationary fruits that were just sat at the start, and you could just run them at any time. Some levels like this will have these kind of moving fruits that will actually try and run away from you, which makes them harder to get, especially when you're being chased by a ghost. One of the good strategies is you can corner them because they kind of have AI, but they can't actually turn around. So once they go around a corner, if you just run into them from the front, they can't actually know that you're there and turn around. So you can just pin them in a corner and get them. And that's going to be a strategy you see an awful lot in this run because it's extremely effective.
Yeah, those running fruits will only turn if they absolutely have to.
Yeah.
They will not turn if they meet, or until they meet another intersection in the maze.
And they only stop when you get really far away. So in this run, you should never see them stop.
This is a good example.
Yeah, and something earlier that I mentioned is that this game is kind of like Championship Edition 1, if you've seen that. But there are actually some pretty big differences. Most notably, the ghosts don't actually kill you if you touch them.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Now, if you fail a mission like that, you have to do
You have to start
maze
everything all the way back
in
at the beginning.
Yeah,
They're mostly pretty short, though, so it's not a huge deal.
Yeah, most of the stages in this run are pretty quick. Like, I think only one of the stages is longer than a minute in the whole run. Most of them are like...
Yeah, it's like the last one.
Yeah, and this is the last stage, and most of them are like 45 seconds. Some of them are even as short as about 15 seconds, so a mistake like that isn't too costly.
In game time, at least.
Yeah.
Yeah, this stage I tried trapping it on the bottom right-hand corner, but it didn't really work out, so let's try this again. There we go.
The hardest thing with that is just not getting those the green ghosts there. They will get in your way. If you try to go through them, you'll just bump up against them.
Yeah, you have to bump
and
up.
they can be kind of hard to get past.
Yeah, so some stages you actually bump into them a couple times just to get them out of the way for an optimal route, but for the most part, you just want to run past them and get them out of your way.
1-4 is actually quite similar to what you see in 1-7, except like 1-3, you're going to have moving power pellets. Quite similar, but
Pinky is being a bit of a pest there.
That was an example of the power pellet or chasing fruit, either one. When it hits a T like that, it'll either go up or down, or I guess left or right, depending on what angle it goes at it from. And the angle it goes at, or the direction it turns, is kind of random, so you kind of have to just guess. Unfortunately, he guessed wrong there and had to chase it down, along with Pinky being in the way.
Yeah, so something that Beef kind of mentioned earlier about the ghosts in this game is that unlike a traditional Pac-Man game, when you run into the ghost, they don't instantly kill you. So you see right there, he bumped into Blinky,
right.
3 times. So when you bump into a ghost 3 times, then they kind of leave the map and they start glowing and they get really angry at you. And if they hit you then, that's when they kill you. So that's what you have to be careful of. And something we should also point out is for these ghost trains, they don't always all take the same path. And so most of the time when he's eating these ghost trains, it's going to be complete improv movement, and he's going to have to make on-the-fly decisions based on the routes that they take through those predetermined paths that are drawn on the level.
Yeah, none of their pathing AI during the ghost train sections is set or anything like that. It's all pretty much random. There's very few instances where it's actually like consistent.
Yeah.
So that's all just on-the-fly movement, which makes it pretty impressive to watch.
Yes, this is actually the first boss level. It's actually the only boss that we're going to do in this run. And so the boss levels kind of work the same way as most of the other levels. They just tend to be longer. Now, most of the levels, when you play on Pro difficulty, you earn 3 stars if you complete them. For the boss levels, you can earn up to 6. Now, to get more stars on the boss levels, you have to, if you notice, every time he clears a map, before he gets the fruit, there's a bunch of extra lives that spawn on the screen, like right there. In order to get the max amount of stars, you need to get a certain number of lives. Now, the max amount of stars on a boss level is 6, and to get 6, I think you need 20 lives on this
20
boss.
for
You basically need to do the entire boss level perfectly.
But Pinball is actually only going to get 4 stars on this boss because he doesn't actually need the extra 2 stars in this run. And so that's going to save him a little bit of time from tracking around these lives because he just won't have to get as many.
Because you'd have to stop and wait for them to spawn every time.
Yeah, so there's the first boss fight.
In the upper right-hand or upper left-hand corner, my bad. You'll see it reads 9, but it's always N+1 lives because if you count also your Pac-Man on the maze as well. So we're done with the first area. Everything else should be relatively smooth from here.
So I think this is the
highway
course with some good music, as do all of the stages in this game. The soundtrack in this game is actually quite good.
Pretty much every song in this game is really amazing.
Yeah, most of the songs in this game would be really good at any rave that you go to. So if you're looking for some music to fill out your playlist, just go to this game.
Any of you raving gamers out there?
Yeah.
It's just a bit more routing on my part.
Yeah, so he wants to get as few dots as possible to actually beat the stage like that. You saw the moving fruit spawned on the very last dot he ate right in front of it. So every level is carefully routed so that it just spawns right in front of him.
And there we go. That's Highway. Championship 2.
Yeah, another actually movement tech that is like kind of, it's maybe more subtle than you think. But every time you sometimes if you look closely, you can see kind of sparks flying away from Pac-Man, and those happen when you take a corner tightly. So that actually gives you a small burst of speed, and so Pinball's gonna want to take every single corner pretty tightly, which isn't really that hard to do, especially if you get used to the movement in the game. It happens all over the place, but it is important because it does give you a tiny boost of speed, and it over the number of corners that there are in this game, it'll save an enormous amount of time.
Yeah, that cornering technique is a thing in just about every maze-style Pac-Man game.
Yeah, even in the original game, the ghosts run faster than you in a straight line, but you turn faster than them. So
except for like Baby Pac-Man, the arcade hybrid one that's really bad.
Yeah, the arcade pinball hybrid.
Yeah, the pinball one.
Yeah.
So 3-6 is pretty much the same thing as 1-7. It might be a good time to read off donations at this point.
I can certainly do that. We have $250 from Haydox, who says, B?
Thanks, Haydox.
Really appreciate it.
We have $5 from Pagan, who says, waka, 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 waka. We have $25 from Hiki, who says, "Hey, Pinball Wiz, it's your friend Hiki from the 100 Pals Discord. Happy to see you running this year. You put in a lot of work on stream these last few months. Hope to learn from your run and beat the game myself. Heart."
Thank you for that.
Imagine being able to actually beat this game.
Yeah, this game is actually, for a game that's like kind of got such simple roots as Pac-Man, this game is actually extremely difficult to beat.
I guess we can talk about how the category works.
Yeah, so we probably should. So to actually, the incentive for this, the donation incentive for this run was to fight the final boss.
Which did get met, thank you.
Yeah, which did get met, and thank you. And you may be wondering, wait, if it's an any % run, why don't you fight the final boss in the run? That doesn't make any sense. Well, the thing with this game is, in order to actually access the final boss, you have to 100% the game, and that takes about 2.5 hours. And it's quite difficult. And so this is kind of just like a shorter category where you, instead of fighting the final boss, you just beat the last normal stage that you can regularly access in the game, which is 614. So that's going to be the last stage we play in this run. But since the donation incentive for the final boss was met, this is going to be like kind of like a any % NG plus type run, maybe.
I mean, the run's still going to end after 614. But
Yeah,
the bonus.
Yeah, then we'll fight the final
the
boss
end.
at the end as well, and Pinball will go for the full 6 stars on that.
Yeah, this one and the next one that we'll play, we'll see these again on the very last stage that we'll play. In this case, 614.
Yeah, and while I'm thinking about it, this one is for you, RZ.
Right here, I'm going to break right here. Catch the fruit.
Yeah, there's actually a break button that'll just stop Pac-Man's movement completely in this game, which I often forget exists.
Yeah, so if you're just trying to like beat the game, you're probably not going to use that because you're thinking, oh, I just need to run away from the ghosts. Like, why would I stop? That's just making me a sitting duck. But Pinball is using that strategically in order to space out the ghosts so that he doesn't bump into them, because with a lot of these paths, you're activating those green ghosts that are sleeping, and you're creating these longer chains that just get in your way more and more. And so bumping into those takes a bunch of time and can make the ghost angry, which can kill you. And so if you can pause for, half a second to avoid that, it ends up saving a little bit of time.
It's actually a strategy I came up with on this specific maze, but it's just so inconsistent, so I'm going to stick to doing this particular route instead.
Yeah, I think you told me before this one you got it to work one time every.
Yeah, one time.
So
Good strat.
really consistent strat.
This maze, I purposefully avoid those thoughts because I'm going to run right into Blinky no matter what I do. And in this maze, I'm just going to run right into Blinky anyway. Shouldn't be that bad. There we go.
There's going to be a lot of clutch moments like that where he's just pixels away from the ghost.
And even then, in the any % route, you don't even have to fight the bosses.
Even in a casual playthrough, you can find yourself in situations like that all the time. This game
Yeah.
is very intense.
Yeah, the bomb is actually an extremely useful item, not only just like to go fast, but just to escape death in case something goes wrong. Because if you notice in kind of the middle of the map where he starts, there's that like glowing space, and that's actually a safe space on the map. So if you stop in that spot, you can't actually get hit by ghosts.
I did not know that.
So if you're in like a panic and think, oh, I'm gonna die, like all 4 ghosts are angry and chasing after me, you can just hover there and wait for them to settle down. Although that can generally be a problem because the time limits on these mazes are normally pretty strict. So you have to be
that's
pretty
like a
careful.
last resort strat.
You have to be very careful if you're doing that.
Oh, it's this maze again.
Yeah, so in talking about stage routing, right? This stage, all he has to do is clear this map and he beats this stage. So this will be an extremely quick stage, and he'll get and he'll get 3 stars for it, just like, some other stages. So
There's no extra like challenges you have to do for 3 stars. You just have to beat it on the hardest difficulty. That is it.
Nice.
Which makes the routing like pretty straightforward.
Yeah, so that stage took 14 seconds in game time. So extremely quick and extremely worth it.
Championship 1. This one's actually quite difficult for casuals especially, due to the fact that there's a parapet map that...
This is just evil ghost train map that's extremely difficult to deal with right here because there's just a lot of paths.
You'll see when the paths come up.
Yeah, this is just a good example in general as well of the very quick
Almost.
There we go.
movement and like kind of weird looking routing compared to what you would do casually.
So something we actually haven't mentioned about the ghost trains is that the ghosts are locked onto those paths except for when they run into another ghost or into each other. And then they can just go wherever the heck they want. And that's extremely frustrating because it's really hard to track them down because they don't really have to immediately make their way back to a path either. So they can just go all over the map. And since you have to eat them from the front, you can't eat them from the side. It just makes it really, really annoying to deal with sometimes.
Not quite.
Almost. So
There's a strat there that
You can-
that's not really
You
good.
can bomb, and then you can just edge out that ghost.
yeah, you land like right on top of them if you get that right. It's pretty tight though.
And this next maze should also be pretty straightforward.
Yeah, this one's pretty consistent with the ghost train movement. So it's not too bad. Oh, this guy did something a little different, I guess. Never mind.
Juked it.
That's because I
Tom,
missed
here's
that
Kurt.
bomb.
Oh, okay. And so I think
it's just bad RNG.
I think at the start of that stage, you also like quickly reset. Why did you do that again?
I reset that stage because it plays it doesn't play this, it plays the longer version of it, the introduction. And it just saves a second or two.
Are there any other stages in the game that do that?
Every first area, I believe.
Okay.
So like if I just started out on 1-1, it would just do the same thing. The same thing with 2-1, 3-1, and so on and so forth. Bomb right here. There we go. That's what I was looking for.
Just want to give a shout out to Pac-Mania, which is kind of the art style that these mazes are themed after. If you've ever played that game, it's a pretty interesting Pac-Man game.
There are other Namco games that they reference.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Such
Ghostly
games.
Adventures.
Not this game. It's
Yeah.
Championship Edition DX that they have skin of
Oh,
Ghostly
really?
Adventures.
That was
Yep,
one? I thought... No, I guess, yeah, that was just DLC in the first game.
CE DX.
There's something we might have seen this already, but these moving fruits, a strat that a Pinball is going to use is, you'll notice that some of these mazes have jump pads, which Pac-Man can use to, jump across the map. Like you can see a bunch from here, except, the ghosts obviously can't take those, but neither can the fruits. So if the fruit runs into that, it'll just immediately turn around and head back towards you. So it's extremely easy to just pin them in the corner that way and get them out of the way.
Maybe. This could be it.
This level's got a pretty good strat if he gets it right.
Consistent. Hashtag consistent in
Very
the chat.
nice. That was really nice.
And if you get that pattern, it just works every time.
One of the
Yes.
few consistent Ghost Train strats.
Yeah, some of the like longer levels, which we'll talk about a little later.
Actually, I had trouble with 5-9.
The ghost trains in those are
too
just evil.
Because if you don't get that, it's just not going to get that pattern.
Got him. Nice.
There we go. One to go.
Yeah, those can all just be really stressful because of how tight everything is.
All right, so now we've unlocked World 6, and we can't get to the final boss because we need 222 stars, and we obviously don't have that many.
AKA all the levels.
Yeah, so you need to beat every level on pro difficulty just to get to the final boss.
And perfect on the boss fights.
Yeah. So this is going to be the last stage that is in the run, and time is actually going to be when the clear screen pops up at the end of this stage, which will be in like a minute and a half or so.
You can tell which map we're on at the bottom left corner. It shows.
Yeah, so many fruits. Yeah, so. Yeah, so in World 6, obviously in this run we only have to play the last stage, which is fortunate because most of the levels in World 6 are by far the hardest in the game.
And also the longest.
Yeah, so in a 100% run, the first 5 worlds alone the first 5 worlds together take like an hour, and World 6 alone takes like an hour and 20 minutes. And it only has like 15 stages, and the rest of the game has like 50 stages.
Yeah, that's because almost every stage in World 6, well, all but 4, I believe, are basically mirrors of the score attack modes, which are like 6-minute long gauntlets. And beating them on pro requires very high like points and they're just very difficult levels.
Yeah.
And they take forever to do.
And if you fail them, you just wasted 6 minutes and you just have to try again because
Yep.
you have to start all the way back from the beginning.
That's why beating this game casually is a complete nightmare.
Yeah, Hexagon in particular is a terrible offender.
I've known to have trouble with Hexagon during my 100% runs.
Yeah, even Pinball, who's like the best at this game, hit the most time he's ever had at the end of that stage is like less than 30 seconds or something
There we go.
to get the score required. So it's just extremely tight and difficult. Unfortunately, again, we don't have to play those levels in this run. We just have to play this one, which is a little scary because the time for this level is kind of tight, but it's not that bad. So we got 3 more levels layouts here, and then it's actually going to be the end of the run.
I'll attempt to play it safe the rest of the way. 2 to go.
Nice.
And do the same thing as before, hopefully.
And
On to go.
You'll notice, I don't think he's died at all this run so far.
I think I had to reset one of the stages. But
Yeah.
other than that, it's been pretty clean.
Even if you do die, you have multiple lives per.
Serious time coming.
Time.
Time. That was a pretty good run. There's like the one stage you had to reset, but the rest of it was...
1-3 I had to
Yeah,
reset.
yeah, the rest of it was really solid.
So yeah, all these purple areas are score attack stages.
Yeah.
6-4 is the Hexagon level that I just have had struggled with in the past.
Yeah, that level is extremely unfair. But that's what kind of makes this game pretty good because it's just extremely challenging.
Yeah, that's 80%. Shall we do the incentive?
Yes.
Indeed we shall. We're
Yes.
going to back out of the game. We're going to quit out. And here's what we're going to do. It's a bit of file tempering. Let's see right here.
Avert your eyes.
Definitely no cheating going on right now. We're definitely not giving ourselves 100% in the game.
You know, this is actually my normal save file that I brought over from back home. So
Yeah, so thanks to your extremely generous donations, you actually get to see how the 100% run would normally end.
Really
we'll
appreciate
We'll get to
it.
fight the final
Mouse.
boss. Yeah, yeah. Might want to move the cursor out of the way there too.
yes.
Oh, it's still kind of there.
I mean, it doesn't really matter.
Okay, there we go.
Question mark.
Give a countdown for the stage too when you start it.
Yeah, final boss. 3, 2, 1, go.
All right.
I don't think I've actually ever seen this.
Yeah, so so we mentioned before the lives. You need to get lives in order to get the full max 6 stars on a boss level. Now, for this boss, you need to end with 20 lives, or well, 19 plus your character, and it only gives you 21, I believe.
I think it's
You can
total.
either miss two
So you
or
can
die
miss 2.
twice.
If you die twice, then you have to play.
I think
perfectly.
it's 3 times.
3 times. And all these maps have all 4 ghosts coming after you, and the extra lives can spawn in random spots. Like there's like a range in that like lower rectangle around that safe spot where they'll spawn, but they can still spawn anywhere in there. That was really close.
Well,
Yeah.
You definitely don't want to sleep on these ghosts. They will hunt you down
Yeah, they'll.
Hexagon.
and make you pay for it.
Yeah. They show no mercy.
Now they have trains behind them too.
Yeah, and you're just making them longer and longer and longer. Uh-oh.
Not that it really matters once they
Yeah.
go angry mode.
Yeah.
When they go sicko mode on you.
Yeah.
And when the fruit spawns, the boss will attack. And they'll make all the ghosts angry.
Yeah, you see he's not using bomb jumps as much, mostly because he has to wait for the lives to spawn anyway.
Yeah.
So
he's just.
kind of can afford the time to
Yeah,
wait around.
So he's using
Get himself-
kind of the stop
Spiral.
mechanic. He's using the stop mechanic so he can see where the lives spawn, so he can react to it and get them quicker. Because most of these you'll actually end close to the center, so the bomb isn't really
Might die in this
necessary.
one. Nope.
Ooh, that
was really nicely played.
nice jukes.
Yeah, so we got 4 more layouts on this. Nice.
Nice.
18.
Corner that one. So these spiral maps tend to work really nicely for pinning the fruit because they just go around in a box and then you just run around and get them from the other side.
Very easy.
19.
So he's got it. So he needs to get one more life and then not die to beat this, but he'll probably get another one for safety or something.
20.
So he's got the requirements. So all he has to do is beat this, and then time will come up right when he beats this dot here.
Time.
Very clean.
And now we get to watch this extremely satisfying animation of a bunch of Pac-Man eating a bunch of ghosts.
Yeah, big shout out to Bandai Namco for making this game.
Please make more games.
Yeah, when is Championship Edition 3?
When is just any Pac-Man game, please?
Yeah, thanks again to everyone for watching. Again, shout outs to Beef and Joester for helping me out. The Pac-Man speedrunning community, and a bunch of friends and family back at home and all around the world.
Yeah, if you want to learn this game, Pinball has an enormous amount of videos and ILs that you can learn from for both like this category and then for the 100% category, again, where you have to beat every single level. So if you want to learn that, there is a Discord for not just this Pac-Man game, but for all the Pac-Man games. So you can join that. It's on the forums on speedrun.com. So go crash the site and try and join the Discord. And yeah, we're always around for questions and really willing to help. So
Yes.
You have any shout-outs, Joe?
I guess shout-outs to GDQ for kind of making, I guess, the Pac-Man series a sort of mainstay. This has been 4 out of 5 events with a game from the series. The games are pretty popular, but the runs are aren't as popular and a little underappreciated. So we're really thankful to kind of get to show off little sections of the community every once in a while in front of a big audience.
And shout out to Pinball for the run, obviously.
Yeah.
God Gamer.
Thank you.
And shout outs to Jeff.
Yeah, thanks everyone for watching. Yeah, thanks everyone for watching. And I hope you all enjoyed the run. And we're going to throw it back to the panel. Take it away, Crunchy.
Yeah, stick around for Klonoa, guys.
Let's hear it for Pinball Wiz. But don't go anywhere, folks, because coming up next, we have Trob doing Klonoa Door to Phantomile with the sweetest, floppiest-eared boy of all. So with that said, how about we jump back into some of y'all's donations then, eh? We have $25 from Cetek Astronomy, who says, "Rise and shine, campers, and don't forget your booties because it's cold out there today." $50 from Bogus142, who just says, "Heart." Well, a heart to you as well, Bogus142. Thank you so much for your generosity. We have $10 from Afridi, who says, "Been loving the marathon, almost at $1 million. I've had to take breaks from both watching and volunteering as a moderator due to some hospital appointments, but now I'm finally free for the rest of the marathon. Love from Norway, especially to my fellow volunteers on Mod Squad. Heart." $25 from Tom Z. "Started to learn to speedrun Dark Souls at the end of this year after watching AGDQ and speedruns for years. So awesome to see how much we can all band together to help a great cause. Let's go, gamers." Oh God, no. It's back. We have $25 from Ghost of GDQ Past. "Hey, Crunchy Lex, have 25 daughters." Oh. I don't think I'll ever be able to live that one down. We have $25 from Leo from FMZ. "Hey there, me and my colleague are watching AGDQ all the time in the office in Germany, so we hardly make any progress in the lab and have to catch up next week. But hey, that's okay, it's for a good cause. Thank you for the nice games and the audience. We hope you will raise again over $2 million. Greetings from Würzburg, Leo. I hope I pronounced that right. Apologies to the German-speaking watchers. $5 from Anonymous, who just says, heart. I'm really feeling the love this morning. We have a $500 donation. From Bauth, who just says, hype! $50 from Orbi-Wan Kenobi, who just says, these are not the orbs you are looking for. Donation goes to Announcer's Choice, which is going to be the Super Scribblenauts TAS. $10 from Dancing Rockruff Guy. Hey, GDQ, can't donate too much due to college, but every little bit counts, right? Absolutely it does, Dancing Rockruff Guy. Here's hoping I can make up for it in all the hype that I've been given all week. And don't worry, I've been sleeping too. Smiley face. Well, I'm happy to hear it, Dancing Rockruff Guy, because dance takes a lot of energy. We appreciate the work you're putting in. $5 from Blanche Blue. Shout out to the night crowd with the most stylish shirts ever. $10 from Chloe149. Up late working on a report, but watching GDQ to avoid responsibilities. Good luck to all. We have $200 from the ever-generous Anonymous with no comment, but we very much appreciate your generosity, Anonymous. Thank you. $25 from Ugarps. Greetings from Tokyo. Shoutouts to the Japanese Restream. $5 from DrewBoy182. Hi to my brother Robert, who's watching in a different room. Hoi! $100 from VJ51. Let's detect cancer like we run our games. Get it as early as possible. $5 from Sabrina102. Today is my birthday. Happy birthday. Hoping this donation gets read. Thank you for hosting this awesome event to help so many people. Love watching the runs. $125 from Niels, who says, speed running while sitting? Found my go-to exercise. We have $500 from Anonymous. Who says, this donation is to thank everyone who makes Games Done Quick a reality. Thank you not just for the amazing amounts of money raised for charity, but also for the hours worth of entertainment you've given me. Not just the time spent watching the stream itself each year, but for the numerous hours I've spent playing awesome games that I would never have played, or in some cases even heard of, had I not watched the runs at GDQ and said, hey, what a cool game, I gotta try this one myself. Every single GDQ event I've watched has added at least a few new games to my library this way. Thank you all for putting on such an amazing event. P.S. This donation goes to TaskBot playing Super Scribblenauts, because that sounds like it will be super hilarious. It really does, doesn't it? Speaking of Super Scribblenauts Task, that incentive is at 60,683 out of 100,000. So we still got 40K left on that one if you want to see that Super Scribblenauts Task. I don't even want to think about how fast the task is going to type out some of those words. We have $125 from Pork, who says, cancer sucks. Here's some money. Do the thing. Okay,